and we are coming at you live from the very first Dugout Chapter podcast. I'm Mckay, Giffin, and I'm here with Jacob.
I'm doing great, Mckay. I'm doing great. How are you doing today, bud?
Dude, I'm doing awesome, and we got so much news to get to.
We
the
do.
Baseball season has just been started. Like, how awesome is that, dude? It's already opening week, and I'd probably say we got some big stories rolling, wouldn't you?
Oh, we have very big stories across the league, across Major League Baseball, just in general. We have a lot to get over, and I can't wait to get this first podcast started with you, bud.
All right, dude, and I know it's been a long time coming, and this is great. So, what team do you want to start with?
All right, well, let's just start off with the one team that I think is on everybody's mind is the New York Yankees. They dropped 2 out of 3 to the Orioles, which they had a franchise record in losses last year.
Yeah, the Orioles couldn't have been a bigger piece of shit. They are just bad. They had Chris Davis, and I think that's enough said. Like, that dude's just a walking embarrassment.
Yeah, so if you go and you look at that, you look at the Astros, they lost 3 out of 4 to the Rays. You go and you look at the Cubs, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Rangers. You look at all across the league, and you're
not to jump back, but I kind of want to go in depth in that Yankee series just a little bit because there were some funny things that happened. So you know Andrew Kashner, right?
Yeah.
That dude sucks. Like, he's serving up beach balls, like he's throwing it down the hallway. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen. He'll break his neck after giving up all these dingers. So the Orioles have a facial hair trim policy, and I think I forget the exact length they're allowed to have, but he's like, no, I'm not shaving it. It helps make me look more fierce. Well, I'll tell you what doesn't make you look fierce, Kashner. Your 5.79 ERA last season. That ain't fooling nobody.
Yeah, like you said, Mckay, I don't think what kind of facial hair. I don't care what kind of hat he's wearing, what kind of whatever he's wearing. He's going to go and he's going to give up his 5 runs per 5 innings every single game, and that's just who he is.
But I will say the Orioles did surprise me beating the Yankees in Game 2 of the series because James Paxton, he had his big league debut for the Yankees, and he did well. The Yankees bullpen didn't hold it, which is usually one of their strengths. Again, with it being the first week of the season, that's a problem that can fix itself or become a problem.
Yes.
And did you see the Orioles were popping champagne like they just won Game 7 of the World Series after they beat them?
I did. But if you look at the Yankees roster, they have a multi-gold glove winner and multi-silver slugger winner, DJ LeMahieu, on the bench, which if he was playing for the Orioles and he was on the Orioles roster,
he'd probably be their 3-hitter.
He would be the face of the team, and he's on the bench. And if you're looking at the Orioles, a whole bunch of minor leaguers beating, the evil empire, you could say, that's going to be a big deal for them. And I think the celebration was a little over the top, but I guess you got to do what you got to do. If you're going to win 40 games this year, you got to cherish every single one of them.
Yeah, because you never know which one could be the last.
You're exactly right. So,
but one big opening day matchup I'd like to get to is the top 2 Cy Young finalists last season, and Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer in the National League. And the Mets pulled a rabbit out of their hat because if you ask me, the Nationals undoubtedly have the better offense out of the two.
I don't know, man. I was down.
I would say overall top to bottom is what I'm getting at.
I don't know. We live in South Florida. I was down there the whole entire spring training. Pete Alonso, as you know, I'm a Gators fan. He played at UF.
Yeah.
He's a great hitter. So if you add him, Brandon Nimmo's young, Michael Conforto, people forget about him and what he did in the 2015 postseason.
It's nothing against the talent they do have. I'm just saying, like, you look at the Nationals, they just have more pieces, more pedigree to their stature than you would initially think when you look at the Mets. Especially, they were in some embarrassing situations over the last couple of years with Terry Collins. And now they have Mickey Callaway, the former pitching coach for the Indians. But, I mean, just when I look at it on paper, I think the Nationals are the more intimidating force of the two.
Yeah, and you could say that, maybe not having Bryce Harper, that distraction is going to help him out. But
yeah, because
for me, I think
that was an integral homegrown piece.
I think if you look at the Nationals, not trying to knock on Trey Turner, but I feel like Trey Turner is like a clone of Dansby Swanson. They're great defensive shortstops. They can't really hit work a lick.
Well, he's got more pop and speed.
I feel like people are going to know how to pitch to Juan Soto this year, his sophomore season compared to last season. I don't think he's going to have as great as a year as he did last year. Who knows what Eaton's going to be able to provide this year? Everybody's just getting older.
He got injured last year
You have Matt Adams hitting in the middle of that order. Ryan Zimmerman's another year older.
He's getting old, man.
So I honestly think that the Mets are going to win the NL East this year.
Oh, that's pretty bold.
Okay,
segueing next is obviously the team that's on everyone's mind. Again, mentioning Bryce Harper is the Phillies, dude. They brought over the whole ship.
Yeah, they did. They went and they got a couple of guys.
14 years, $330 million for Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
You got to win some ball games. You got to do more than sell jerseys.
Yeah, but I think it's not just the money or the player, and people can say, you know what, they shouldn't have paid him that much. That's too much for Bryce Harper. You know, they're kind of just paying for a name, but it's not just the name.
But from the marketing standpoint, it pays off.
But not just from the marketing standpoint, Mckay.
Hey, someone's got it. All right.
So Mckay, obviously, everybody in their right mind that goes and covers Major League Baseball in the media goes and does their postseason picks. So that's what we're going to do. It's the beginning of the season. So I want you to go and tell me, you don't have to give me who's going to win certain series or what's going on there. I want you to tell me who's going to be in the World Series. Don't give me a winner. Give me a winner on the All-Star break. I want to know division winners, and I want to know wild card winners and why. Real quick, I'm going to start it off by division, league by league, on who you think is going to be the winner of the division, who you think the wild card's going to be, and who's going to be in your World Series and who's going to win the World Series in your estimation. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with one of the most covered leagues or divisions in baseball, the American League East.
All right.
Who's your winner, and do you have anybody coming out of that division as a wild card? Go.
I got 3 postseason teams there. I got the Yankees winning the AL East and Boston and Tampa facing off in the wild card game. And I'm going to pick the Yankees over the Red Sox just for the simple fact that Boston and that I think the Yankees overall just added more pieces. They brought more depth into their team. Troy Tulowitzki, DJ LeMahieu, James Paxton. These are guys that are going to help out an already injured middle infield with Didi Gregorius out for a while. And that's going to be helpful. And Tulowitzki himself is injury prone. And you might be thinking, what are the Rays doing there? Well, I'll tell you what. Those scrubs with the Kmart Stadium won 90 ball games last year. That ain't no small feat.
All right, Mckay. I gotta have to agree with you there. I think the Yankees, they're just going to be too deep this year. I think with the additions you made, especially with the bullpen, I know their starting pitching's a little shaky. Severino starting off the year injured. He didn't play. He didn't pitch that great in the postseason.
Also in the course of a 162-game season.
Oh yes, and I think Boston. They're not. Craig Kimbrell's not coming back. Their 8th and 9th inning guys aren't coming back. Shelby Miller's not coming back, and I think they're going to be not as hungry as the Yankees are. Stanton's, he's a younger guy, but he's getting on the cusp of kind of getting in that, out of his prime stage.
But also what you're saying with the hungriness, the Yankees got slapped in the face to Boston last year. They lost the division to them, they lost the postseason to them, and overall the World Series. So that's going to light a fire under their ass.
I have to agree with you there. But so like you said, I have the Yankees going, and I have the Yankees beating or winning the American League East.
Oh, and in case you were wondering, I got the Orioles in dead last.
Yes, I have the.
Sorry, Chris Davis. You only hit $1.54. I don't have change.
So I have the Yankees winning the American League East, and I also have in the American League wild card. I also have both wild cards coming out of the American League East via Boston Red Sox and Tampa Bay Rays. So we're shifting our attention out of the American League Central. I think everybody knows and everybody predicts the Indians are going to win the division. But everybody agrees that the Indians don't have that overall great of a team. They're probably going to go one and done out of the playoffs. They're probably going to lose the division round, but the division in general is not that good.
Divisions in baseball.
Maybe the Twins can give them a run for their money. I don't think so. I don't think the Twins are quite there yet. I think the addition of Marwin Gonzalez is a great addition. He's a great player. I was down in, Houston, not Houston, in West Palm for the Astros spring training last year. He can do it all. He can play anywhere on the field. He's a switch hitter. He's just overall a great player. They're gonna miss him in Houston, but I have the Indians winning. What do you think about the American League Central?
The American League Central is definitely one of the weakest divisions in the American League to me. and I might contradict you there. I don't think the Indians could have what it takes to win the division this year. They've lost a lot of pieces themselves in Andrew Miller. Corey Kluber's getting older. They lost Michael Brantley, and Jason Kipnis is falling off. He's looking like a guy who's just struggling to stay along right now. He's in the 230s, 220s. Blind squirrels catching up. But how many balls can you hit in field? It's looking rough. I could see the Twins being your surprise team, because if you ask me, that could be a division that's racing to win 90 games. Like, this could be a very weak division. And it's not like the Twins haven't surprised us before. They took the Yankees to the wild card game, gave them a run for their money, but ultimately came up empty. But if you ask me, I think they got more to fight for and more to prove. So I can see the Twins being your sneak pick in the AL Central.
All right, now moving on to the American League West.
Oh, God.
I have the Houston Astros. I think I have them winning the American League. I think their starting pitching is just overall better than anybody else, plainly in baseball. Verlander, Garrett Cole. They added Wade Miley. Colin McHugh is shifting from the bullpen to starting as a starter with the loss of Charlie Morton. And I just think, if they can just stay healthy, they have the makings of being a dynasty. They signed Alex Bregman.
Forget about Lance McCullers.
Yeah, and but he's going to be out this year, Mckay, with an injury.
Oh, yeah.
He's not going to be there, so that's probably the one thing that's going to be a knock on the Astros compared to their World Series winning team in 2017. I still think they're going to have enough. Yeah. So I have them as my American League West winner. Mckay, who do you have as your American League West winner?
Who else is out there?
Well, you have the Mariners are 5-1, Mckay, so I guess you could say they're out there, but what do you think? Who's going to be the winner in a 162-game season?
I'm taking the Astros. Come on. How can you not? They're a strong team. They got franchise players. Their left side of the infield's as strong as it comes. You got Correa, Bregman, MVP, multi-time batting title winner, and Jose Altuve. And
2017 AL MVP Jose Altuve.
Exactly. They got a lot of pedigree to them. They added Michael Brantley. And their pitching rotation is strong. Last year, their bullpen showed strength itself. The back end of it might be a little more shaky than usual, but I don't know a team that can compete with them in the AL West. I really don't. The Rangers, I just don't think you're going to get much for them. Or the Rangers. Their biggest competition could be Oakland, but they theoretically don't have a starting rotation. They rely too heavily on their bullpen. And I know now it's a bullpen-type game, but that's not going to win. We already see what it did for them in the wild card game. They couldn't beat the Yankees last year. They managed to get there, but they're going to be scraping by.
Oh, yeah, I have to agree with you. Now shifting, we already discussed our American League wild card teams, so I think we both agreed that it's going to be the Rays and the Red Sox. So now we're going to shift to the National League, and we'll start in the East. So, Mckay, who do you have as your National League champion, and do you see anybody out of the National League East getting a wild card this year?
That's a good one. I could see the Braves taking it again.
So you have the Braves winning the National League East this year as your preseason
I can tell you why over the Phillies. I think the Phillies are a lot of hype, a lot of payroll. They're a marketable team. That's good, but again, it might not translate to wins. The Braves are young, hungry, and just looking good. Roberto Osuna. They're just strong everywhere. Dansby Swanson's strong up the middle. What's the name of their second baseman?
Roberto Osuna?
Yeah, Roberto Osuna.
He's on the Astros.
No, not him. The switching second baseman for the Braves.
Oh, Ozzy Albies.
Ozzy Albies. Yeah, Roberto Osuna, their outfielder. Freddie Freeman's really becoming a superstar.
Roberto Osuna, their outfielder.
Dude, what's that guy's name? He's came up and dropped bombs out of here.
Nick Markakis?
Not
Ronald Acuna.
Yeah.
Acuna Matata, Mckay.
Dude, I was in the ballpark.
Come on.
I was actually in that ballpark.
That is not near the ballpark. You got to get your head out of the American League all the time. But
dude, I can't help it, man.
So you have the Braves. Do you have anybody real quick coming out of the wild card of the National League?
I'm going to have to think on that one for a second. I kind of want to go over the whole NL again because I like guys like the Rockies. The Cubs normally can scrape their way to the postseason these days. I'm gonna come back to the wild card.
All right. So for me, Mckay, like I said earlier, I have the New York Mets winning the National League East. You You might be saying, why are you picking the Mets? I'm going to tell you 2 reasons. Starting pitching and veteran leadership. You had a guy like Robinson Cano. You were talking about earlier how they don't have any hitting. Well, I beg to differ on that.
I don't think they got the hitting you need to win it.
I just think they're going to be able to go, and it's going to be a tough division. Teams are going to beat up on each other, but at the end of the day,
overall, it will be a fun division.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun division to watch. I just think the Mets, it's kind of like this is a year. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it this year, and I feel like they're going to get it done this year. And out of that, I also have the Phillies getting a wild card spot this year out of the National League East. So I have the Mets winning the division, and I have the Phillies getting a wild card spot out of the National League East.
And so far, I got the Braves winning the NL East, and like I said, I might take a quick journey back to the wild card game at the end of my picks.
All right.
So we'll move over to the NL Central, and I'm gonna take the Brew Crew.
You having the Brew Crew winning it?
Yeah, dude.
Anybody out of the wild card? I feel like if you didn't take anybody out of the East with the wild card, you got to at least be taking 2 teams from the National League Central because nobody in the National League West is going to be getting a wild card spot.
Yeah, the Rockies are probably going to win that division. I'd say, I could see we got the Redbirds and the Cardinals taking a wild card spot.
Redbirds and Cardinals are the same thing, Mckay.
Duh, I was being idiomatic. So I'll take the Cardinals against the Phillies in my wild card, and the Braves winning the NL East.
I have the Cardinals winning the division. I think their starting pitching and the additions they made is just going to be too much.
I just think, but dude, look at Yelich. His first 4 games, 4 home runs. He's defending that MVP title. I just think they got what it takes. They got the fire.
I just don't think they have enough pieces.
Obviously, the biggest question for me,
pitching-wise.
yes, they're starting pitching.
That's why I have the Cubs getting the second wild card spot.
Are getting ancient. Their starting rotation could be in the Smithsonian soon.
Yeah, Mckay, but you have Joe Madden, one of the best managers in the game.
Yeah, but is he going to be on the field?
They've been there before. They've done that. They're going to be hungry, not making the playoffs last year. They're going to get it done. Cardinals win the NL Central. Cubs get a wild card spot. Dodgers win the NL West.
I'm going to take the Rockies in the NL West.
Mckay, so...
I'm going to take also I want to keep a little bit of open-mindedness to it. Because the Dodgers, they go in, they fade out fast. They win a division title, and then don't get anything with it. Yeah, they've been in the World Series. They can't win.
But Mckay, we're not talking about what they're going to do in the postseason.
Still,
I'm talking about who's winning the division.
I could see the Rockies beating them in a dogfight.
You see the Rockies beating them in a dogfight? Mckay, the Rockies can't even beat the minor league Marlins in a series.
It's one series.
I understand, but...
Then guess what? They're going to go daddy on them. They got Arenado. They got Dahl. They got Story. They got Jonathan Gray. They got guys that can play.
All right. Well, those are your post-season predictions.
Come back here and you'll see.
We're gonna see who's made better predictions, me or Mckay. Dude. So we will see who's made better predictions at the end of the season.
All right.
And
so shut your face.
Yes. All right, Mckay. So I want to ask you a simple question. Over this opening series of Major League Baseball, we've had a series of teams that everybody's predicted not to do well, winning series against teams that are predicted to either win their division or make it to the postseason. So I'm going to ask, is this going to be fact or fiction? Are we making too much of this, or are teams closer to each other than we think? And the teams that I'm talking about is the Orioles winning a 3-game series over the Yankees. The Rays winning a 4-game series over the Astros.
No, Orioles. Just stop.
The Marlins.
With the Orioles.
Let me finish, Mckay. The Marlins split a series with the Rockies. The Twins won the opening series against the Indians. The Rangers, I believe, won the opening series against the Cubs. The Athletics won the opening series over the Angels. And the Mariners are at a red-hot pace right now, and they won the opening series over the Red Sox. So are we making too much of this, or is it nothing?
The only thing I can say with opening week is it can go a bit of both ways. You can make the argument of adrenaline that the season started, but also keep in mind, guys are getting loose. They're finding their swing. Pitchers finding the arm slots on their sliders and backing up with the fastball. Everyone's kind of breaking in, But it's kind of like that saying, you can lose a division in April, but you can't win it. So I think the end of the month will be more of a telltale sign than the first 3-4 games per team.
I probably have to agree with you there.
Just because you got to give guys, because it is baseball, it's one of the longest seasons sports will ever have to offer. It's 162 games. You're going to be good sometimes. You're going to be bad sometimes. It comes down to one magic word: consistency.
I'd probably have to agree with you there. So what I want to talk to you about is the Seattle Mariners. They're 5-1 right now. They won their first
they played
two
pretty
series.
good against Boston.
Do you think that they're going to be able to keep this up? And do you think at the trade deadline they're going to be able to go and maybe, if they're playing this well, maybe to acquire some pieces and make a postseason run?
If they're playing this well, obviously you got to go. You got to go for it.
Do you think they'll be able to keep this up though?
That's just an interesting question because
you know what they say in Seattle right now, they're flipping those M's upside down and they're 5-1 and they got 5 dubs out of 6 games so far. So
they did have that opening series in Japan. They sent Ichiro off nicely. They played well against Boston, which is probably a bigger telltale sign. They looked pretty good against Chris Sale. Obviously, pedigree speaks a lot to him. I could see, like, Seattle's been that team that people have been predicting to do well for a while. So I won't deny it. I'll put it like that. Could I see it? Yes. Is it probable? No.
All right. Next topic that I want to discuss to you about is, according to ESPN's Jeff Passan, the Boston Red Sox and shortstop Xander Bogaerts are finalizing a 7-year, $132 million contract extension.
I think that's the way baseball is now.
Do you think it's the right move for the Boston Red Sox?
Yes, because they can afford it.
Do you think it's the right move? Not saying they can afford it.
Do you think it's the right move to lock a young player in?
To lock Xander in.
How many years are on that?
7.
So 7 divided by 132. So he's making almost $20 million a year, about 18 roughly.
Yeah,
I'd say that's a little much for him, but also keep it on the flip side that guys are getting paid now more than ever. So, yeah, I could see it being a good move for Boston. He's a solid ball player.
Yeah, he's a 2-time Silver Slugger Award winner.
He's
been to an All-Star game.
He's won a World Series
twice.
Yeah.
His rookie year was 2013.
Yep. So yeah, he's a guy that fits the criteria for being a franchise player.
Last year he finished 13th in MVP voting. If you go and you look at his numbers, he hit .288. He had 148 hits.
He's got some sneaky power. He's a run producer, and he's a shortstop. So yeah, I got to say that's a good move for Boston.
All right, going to our next topic. We're going to wrap up this first podcast of Dugout Chatter, and what we're going to talk about is
where I want to take it. Big opening day stories. It doesn't and I mean for this. What do you find the most fun to you? It doesn't have to be who was the best. Just what's fun to you. I thought it was funny watching Zach Greinke get ripped, and the Dodgers got annihilated. He might need a CT scan on his neck because those balls were flying. He gave up 5.
Yeah,
against the Dodgers.
As our old coach used to say, Coach Smith, he got that bat shoved up his ass sideways, bud. So
you can churn out that poop.
I'd have to say that, but I'd also have to say,
yeah, dude, it's fun. It can be.
That's probably my biggest opening series takeaway. I know everybody wants to talk about the Yankees. We're not going to talk about that. That's not the biggest opening day takeaway for me. I feel like it's this series with the Rays and the Houston Astros. I feel like that's what's going to be the Rays' entire season. It's nobody talks about them.
Okay.
Nobody pays attention to them.
Moves.
Nobody gives them any credit, but they're going to just sneakily beat teams, win series. They're going to beat good teams, and they're going to find a way to the postseason, as I was saying before.
And then who knows? If they win enough ball games, they might get a Major League Stadium at the end of the year.
Well, they're in the works of it right now. So,
thank God.
So yeah.
And dude, that's our first podcast, man.
All right.
Yeah, it was fun. And thank you for joining us at Dugout Chatter. You can expect a weekly roundup and look forward to next week every Monday morning at 10 a.m. I'm Mckay Giffin.
And I'm Jacob Williams.
We'll see you next week in the Dugout. Welcome to Dugout Chapter, the newest and most obscure baseball commentary channel yet. We are your hosts, Jacob Williams and Mckay Giffin. We will be covering the latest baseball news and predictions for the upcoming seasons. Welcome to the Dugout.